Hi guys, it's Anita Cordell here, and I have Cory Wilcox here. He's a licensed electrician here in Kansas City, and I called him because I just had a seller get an inspection done on one of my listings, and the inspector found some electrical concerns, and so I called Cory. He's one of my licensed contractors that I like calling on when I need some help, and he came right out. He was very efficient in his time. He was speedy and is always very responsive, and so I had him come out here to take a look at the box. So we're going to go through that. And Cory, do you have anything you would like to say?
Basically, if you guys need an electrician, my phone number is 913-944-9940. If I can't get to the phone, leave a detailed message, and I've got a lot of referrals. We do both commercial and residential, and I guess we're getting ready to go back in the house and check one more thing out. With the electrical, right now we're looking at a 100 amp service. This is probably about 30 or 40 years old, if not older, and it's 100 amp rated only. You can see right now it's very small panel. There's not a lot of room for like a remodel, and basically we're going to open up this panel and see if we have any wiring issues, any grounding issues, anything like that. And later we're going to go outside and check the exterior electrical service coming into the house. Out here we have a 100 amp service. Basically, this here is your meter canister, and this here is your meter provided by the local power company. This here is called a riser or a conduit, and what it does, it goes up through the roof, and right up here you can see where the entrance wires go into the conduit. There should be a weatherhead up there. There is a weatherhead, but the back cover is missing, so that potentially is an issue because water can get down through there and into here. Plus, that keeps rodents and birds out also, which can create problems in the future too. The wire looks fine for a 100 amp service, but however, our height is a little low. Our minimum clearance should be at the lowest point 12 foot, and I believe we're low. So the city, if they were to come out and inspect this, they would probably make us raise this up and fix that weatherhead. They would probably make us change the wires going in too, because obviously you're going higher, your wires are going to be shorter, so we'd have to change that, and that would be the process to get this back up to code. We're at the house next door, and basically I'm going to show you, this here is a 200 amp service. They used to have overhead service. A lot of cities now are requiring, if you do upgrade to a 200 amp service, that you go underground versus overhead. It eliminates possible storm damage and stuff like that when you have storms. If you look out here at this pole, you can see a conduit to the left of it. That's coming off of the pole. It goes down through that conduit underneath and comes up over to here with the 200 amp service meter, which is new. And then you eliminate this. You can keep it up there or whatever, or cut it off and cap it, but that is an underground service. All right, what we have here is a 100 amp service panel. It's a Sylvania breakers. They're old. They're not the worst. Federal Pacific is a breaker that has been recalled many years ago because they wouldn't trip properly and it would burn your wiring. The wire is coming in right now. That's rated for 100 amps, so that's sufficient. That's good. I'm not seeing, I look right now at a plumbing ground. I know that goes back over here to your plumbing, which is back there in the corner. That's your water coming into the house from the city. It's required to have a number 6 ground wire grounded to the panel. Now that being said, I don't see a ground wire going outside to an earth ground, so this house would have to be properly grounded if we do the 100 amp panel upgrade, which I would recommend. Number 6 ground rod coming in here, and then the plumbing ground is sufficient. So another thing too with this panel, it's not really overloaded. Back in the day, they didn't really have a lot of circuits or a lot of things they would be using for electrical purposes. But if I were to put a bigger panel in here at 100 amps, that would probably allow me to do a few branch circuits down here in the in the basement and do a remodel and still be within the guidelines of 100 amp. And basically with this panel being undersized, what we have here is 4 wires going into a 30 amp breaker. That's not a good thing. So basically they're feeding 220 appliances with one 30 amp breaker. That causes an overload. That could be a fire hazard. After further review of this panel, this here is a 30 amp breaker and it's feeding our range and dryer, which is definitely an overload. The wire size is fine, but you can't double tap a breaker. That's not code, because each appliance is required to have its own dedicated circuit. So that being said, our dryer and range should both separately be on 40 amp circuits, depending on the manufacturer of the appliance and what they require. So basically on this panel, with the amount of breakers we have, we are sold out. There's no more room for more breakers. They've got 2 different appliances on one 2-pole breaker, which is not right. So the only way to really do this, if we're using this panel, is to take some double breakers and add these in, and it takes away your single breakers. So it would take 2 of these to take 4 of these away to open up 2 spaces, so we could have another breaker for our appliance that needs to be on a dedicated circuit. Or option 2 is to go ahead and take this whole panel out and put another 100 amp panel in that has the adequate amount of spaces, plus probably a few extra to accommodate this repair that needs to be done. And if I were to do that, I would probably go outside and do the repair that needs to be done to the riser going up through the roof, where the entrance wires are coming into the house from the power company.
So hey guys, we've just finished the inspection or the scope of work, and
Right.
So Cory and I are about ready to leave the property, and you're getting ready to put together your proposal and your recommendation.
Basically, we went through the house, we looked at the scope of work, we looked at the electrical service coming in, the panel. Basically, I'll send an email quote to the seller and let them know what their options are, and you know, put a proposal together with a dollar amount, and if they like it, they'll call me, and then we'll call the city, and we'll get permits if we need them, and get the work done in a timely fashion.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
So thank you, Cory, for coming out, and thank you for actually being on video. I know I caught him
not a
off guard. I was like, hey, do you want to do a short video for my YouTube channel? And
Cool.
So thanks a lot. If you guys like this video and it was helpful, please give it a thumbs up and check my other videos out, and certainly refer Cory Wilcox.
Thank you.
He's great and has very positive attitude and is always very readily accessible. So thanks a lot, Cory, and
I
hopefully
appreciate it.
you guys enjoyed this. So come on back, kcadvocate.com.
Thank you.